think it's dawned on me that you ain't coming back. I've lost my chance to see us find our way back. And in the end, amidst these trying times, I'll always try to find you. I'll lie to you to find the truth that you hold back. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms. We'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Dramatically talk to me, and it's so funny. You're all I wanted, and I can't talk. Want you out of my life, so say none. I'll wait for days if you ain't one. I'll say none. So stay with me. You know that I'll follow. I can't breathe. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms. We'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Together we'll fall apart. Stay here right in my arms, and we'll start again. So stay with me. Together we'll fall apart.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 12
Go out.
all the way from back there. Go on ball with Ben Gregory now. I love it. 16.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening indeed, and welcome to Chaz Draycott Media, and welcome to another race meeting here in the World Sim Racing World GR86 series. Fantastic to have you back with me again tonight, and I really hope that you're looking forward to just as much fun action as I am. I want to apologise first off for me probably sounding a lot more horrendous than I normally do this evening. I am really not very well at the moment, but we're pushing on and we're broadcasting through tonight. I can barely hear out my left ear, so this broadcast is going to sound very odd from where I am, but hopefully from where you are, it is all absolutely fine. What a circuit we are at this evening. We are at Road Atlanta, an absolute gem on any racing calendar. It's such a challenge for drivers around here. So easy to get it wrong as well at this track, and to be honest, I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that fall slightly by the wayside this evening because of how difficult this place is to get right. So, what's the championship looking like coming into this race meeting then? We have had only a handful of meetings so far, but we're getting to the halfway point, and after rounds 10, 11 and 12 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve at Magny-Cours, Alex Davidson is the driver that leads the championship. Michael Evdoker is second at the moment on 605 points, and then Matthew Crisp is in third position, although he has changed to AM Racing Team to partner Michael Hefliderson, who is currently in fourth. So it is 1-2 for Pure Sims Esports, and then 3 and 4 for AM Racing Team. Jesper Eriksson in fifth is only 10 points behind Michael, and it is very close all the way through. You can see Esteban Rodriguez and James Neve there tied on points. James Neve, of course, in the AM class, and that means that he is ahead of Maciej Sakovic, who is 10th overall and second in said AM class, but only separated by a tiny margin of 16 points. So when you consider how many points they have between them, that is not much at all. Here is Michael Hefliderson behind Matthew Crisp, and with him, I believe there on the circuit is one of the... Actually, which? No, it's one of the Fury Sim Sport cars. That's Alex Jenkins, I believe, that's just with them there. Sitting behind it is Alex, hoping to benefit from some of the slipstream that these guys are getting. And now he's thinking, right, why are we going on the grass, gentlemen? They're all seemingly parking it off to one side. I'm not sure if Matthew Crisp's going to disappear from there. Alex Davidson, though, following his teammate Michael Evdoker. He's currently fastest at the moment, so he doesn't really need the slipstream more than Michael. Apologies, no, Michael's following him, isn't he? The way the camera joined onto them looked like it was the second car in this train that we were following. But no, Davidson leads the way in the session and leads his teammate Michael Evdoker around. He's currently 6/10 off. Let's see what that does to his lap time. It helps him out quite a bit, but it only moves him up to 4th position. Christoph Karekis, the car behind them, is currently second fastest. Mikael Lees is currently second in the AM class in this session, only about a 10th and a half off Maciej Sakovic, who has put it back to the top. Let's not forget about him and James Neve having their fight in that championship this evening, shall we? James just coming out the pit lane now and making his way up towards the very fearsome turns 2 and 3 here at Road Atlanta. You can see just even at slow speed, we go over the crest. It's a blind apex at turn 3. And then back down the hill they go. Through the left, through the right, one way then the other. And look at this up here into the left-hand kink. Big amount of curb on the inside, big amount of curb on the outside. It's a terrifying part because the curb's not even flat. It's very lumpy, very bumpy, and it moves around quite a lot, to say the least. Or it moves the car around quite a lot, to say the least, anyway. Just waiting now to see if there's anybody else that can improve. Andy Shield is amongst the AM drivers at the moment. He is in the pro class, though, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen there. The pro drivers are denoted by a red stripe next to their name. The AMs are denoted by the blue stripe next to their name. You can see that at the top of your screen as well. We'll show you the best lap times from both classes, which is currently a 1:34.0 for the pros, 1:35.4 for the AMs. Andy having a bit of a wild ride there through the double right-hander. That was a bit of a scary moment, wasn't it, to say the least? This is the run down now to what is apparently turn 9. This long sweeping curve to the right, and then you've got 10A and 10B at the very bottom of the hill. And that is the amazing chicane where we are going to see most of our overtaking manoeuvres tonight. Martin Kenyon currently at the back of the pack in 18th position, but I don't think he's had a fully representative lap set yet because he's quite a long way off in terms of the car ahead even. He's 4 seconds off, so hoping to get a clean lap on. He's only done 5 laps in qualifying at the minute, and we still have 7 minutes of said session left to go. Just behind him on the track, I think, is Roger Morton. It is, for Result Clothing. He makes his way into the chicane now. This chicane actually gets used as part of the course in the Formula Drift Championship that heads to Road Atlanta once a year at least. There's some amazing drifting goes on around there. It looks wonderful. I was actually watching the Long Beach season opener of the 2020 Formula Drift season with my good friend Dan McCauley over the weekend at Long Beach, and wow, what a fantastic spectacle that is. I've never really been into to drifting that much, you know. I've enjoyed a bit of it. It's just a great thing to watch, but when you actually get into the competition of it and the drivers and the cars and how it's all set up and how it works, it's very, very entertaining. So if you haven't watched it before, I do implore you to go and do so. But of course, not until we're done here. Please do stick around here for this evening and carry on watching the World GR86 series. Thanks to our championship sponsor as well, Butt Kicker, for their amazing support as ever. And of course to Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography for his continual amazing work with this series. Some of the pictures that he posts within the Discord are amazing. I'll say some of them, they all are. Hedge is a real star. I've been good friends with Hedge for a long time, and it's great to see how we've both gone down different paths within sim racing, but still remaining in close proximity, let's say. And hello to everyone in the chat as well. Jakub Szmanski saying it's an interesting choice of thumbnail. Yeah, I just thought I'd go for one with a little bit more drama. A car sideways across the grass always looks a little bit more dramatic. Kevin Zemstra in there is all good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. And Lewis Ward also. I've heard that you've been doing some testing for GT4s, Lewis. Of course, Lewis is the reigning Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge, which is also broadcasted here on Chaz Draycott Media. Season 3 has been announced and will be getting going in the next month or so. Hopefully Matty Wild's car will be getting going again in the next month or so, because that was a big old whack into the barriers, and he's going to park that off at the side of the road and try and go again. This is Marcus Adams down the start-finish straight. Just going around turn 1, you can see how much these cars carry a lot of pace through there. One way, then the other over 3 and 4 down the S's. It's quite funny actually, because that is known as turn 4, and then this right, left, and then right again is not known as, it's not numbered as a corner actually. It's just called the S's, and then this is actually turn 5. So they're not considered as numbers via the track map from Road Atlanta. And then the next right at the end of the straight is turn 6. Don't forget as well, we do have more to consider this evening than just qualifying and one race, for example, because we do have on hand the reverse grid spinny wheel, which gets used over the course of the evening. So we spin this wheel like so, and we get a reverse grid draw. So whichever number it lands on is how many cars from the previous race result will get reversed on the grid. And that's how we set our grids for the next race. And it means that it keeps it very exciting, because nobody knows quite where they're going to be in the pack when it comes to the start of the next race. And also, of course, it means that people can't sort of stick to a certain position knowing that they will get reverse grid pole as well. There have been a couple of championships in the past that I've taken part in that admittedly drivers have sort of sandbagged a bit and waited and stayed in a certain position knowing that they'll be on pole position for the next encounter. Just keeping an eye on sector times at the moment. It doesn't look like anybody's able to dethrone Alex Davidson at the minute. He's really pushing on though. Look at that through turn 5. Car completely over to one side, then the other. He's got a car in front of him there, which I think is... Actually, which one of the next gen cars is that? Is that Mick Elise? It is, isn't it? Mick Elise has the sort of bright purple shapes and wing mirrors. Adam Delmont usually has the neon green. As he, whoa, hello, moves out of the way there. I'm not sure what sort of protest that was to the car behind, which was Alex Jenkins. He's got Pete Newman, I think that is, going next to him on the left-hand side. Pete now slingshotting ahead. Hard onto the brakes into the chicane they go. down the final corner. It's so hard to make sure that you absolutely nail the turn in there and really get that car to behave around the right-hander. And Pete Newman does not improve on his best lap time. Michael Hafliderson is having a moment apparently, but it's just showing up that he's off the circuit there, as the other DCW racing machine, actually it's the same one, sorry, Matty Wild going through there, flashing his lights to make sure they see him coming. Over the crest of the hill he goes, round the final corner. And what can Matty Wild do for his first valid lap of the session? He's done 7 laps now and not had any of them count. Puts himself 15th, 7th in class. Wow. And I'm sure scares the living daylights out of Marcus Adams. So this is Marcus going around the final corner. Matty does his lap, moves over to the right. You see the brake lights come on, all is well, and hup, into the barrier he goes. Very scary moment there for the Wiener Semantics driver. Matthew Crisp is pushing on at the moment. We'll bring up the qualifying mode on the overlay. For some reason it hasn't automatically come on. As you can see, Alex Jenkins there with the green first sector, but 2 red middle sectors means that he's not improved on his times through there. Is that improvement going to outweigh the non-improvements in the middle of the lap? Let's have a quick look as he comes around the final corner. No, he's backed out of that one. Marcus Adams is on a good one though. He's done 2 green sectors so far, and he's now going down the back straight. However, if his earlier lap was set with any sort of slipstream, it will be hard to beat that now without said slipstream. Looks nice and tidy into the chicane. Looks nice and tidy over the crest as well into the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Swoops it around. And Simon Povey saying that he's watching the broadcast with his good friend Jeff Small. Good to see you, Simon. Michael Hofliderson in 5th place. Going very well. But he just has a slight improvement on that lap. It's not enough to beat Evdoka. Colin Sansom crosses the line and finishes qualifying. Boy, that flew by actually towards the end there, and it's going to be another pole position for Alex Davidson. And a very, very well deserved one at that. Don't think anyone else is on the circuit to get a time in now. No, it's only Colin Sansom and Michael Hofliderson that are on the track. Colin just continuing on and getting what he can out of the final moments of the session. You often do see drivers complete the qualifying session and then use a few more laps just to get a little bit more practice in, because why not? At the end of the day, you may as well use the track time you've got. And Colin is putting in a few more circulations at least to run the timer down. And I tell you what, indeed, Dan, I'm looking forward to this. Yes, indeed, mate. Really looking forward to this one. Great circuit, a lot of slipstreaming going on here, and I think we are going to have a very good night of it. Let's not forget we've got 3 races. So we've got the first one with the grid determined by qualifying, and then we have, of course, 2 reverse grid wheels between the races to then change around how they will line up on said grid. And well, I tell you what, indeed, Dan, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think with the smaller grid, it might be a bit interesting to see how some of the championship leaders and real top guns get to the front of the pack again, because we saw it last time out at Montreal as well, that they can get through to the front quite quickly. I think Colin Sansom, no, he didn't get away with that. He didn't get away with the fact that he had to basically do an invalid lap at the end because he crossed the line after it had begun. Fraser Carroll in the chat in Facebook. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Sorry that I sound like absolute death today. The illness gods have not been kind to me this weekend. David Ayres in the chat as well. Good to see you, mate. Martin Kenyon saying it's a new track to learn. Road Atlanta is the best American track, hands down, says Jakub Szymanski. It is very good. I think if Drew Adamson was here right now and I said that it wasn't the best American circuit, I'd get absolutely destroyed in chat and probably kicked off any iRacing broadcast in future, so I'm going to refrain from saying that, even though the words did come out of my mouth. Alex Davidson starts on pole position alongside Christoph Karekis. Then we have Matthew Crisp and Michael Evdoka on row 2. Michael Hofliderson and Alex Jenkins are on row 3, with Pete Newman in 7th, and then the first of the AM drivers, James Neve, lines up alongside Maciej Sakovic, who's got Mikel Lees in the 10th spot just behind. Andy Shiel will start 11th alongside Marcus Adams. Then we have Carl Hardy and Ian Manners on row 7. Matty Wilde is in 15th place alongside Dale Bennison. Good to have Dale back on the grid. Roger Morton is 17th alongside Colin Sansom, and then Martin Kenyon is at the back of the pack, ready to go and see what he can pick up from there. We're still waiting for a couple of cars to make their way to the grid. Alex Davidson is one of them, the pole sitter, and Christoph Karekis, just behind Matthew Crisp in the brown and green. I'm not colourblind, I promise. The brown and green machine will have boop. There is Michael Havliderson popping onto the grid, and then we just wait for our front row. Now Karekis goes bang onto the grid, and any second now we should have pole sitter and championship leader Alex Davidson. So they've got 20 seconds to get that done, though, because otherwise he'll start from the pits, and bang, there he is, and the race will get underway. So for the first time tonight, and for the 13th round this season, the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series gets underway from Road Atlanta. And as you can hear, the revs all bogged down. The drivers try and grab whatever traction they can. It looks like a good start by Matthew Crisp. Moves to the right-hand side of Christoph Karekis. It's going to be important for him to get the move done early here if he wants to go chasing Alex Davidson, but they don't want to battle too long because Alex will disappear over the horizon. Let's see what they're like as the rest of the field makes their way out of turn 1. Mikel Lees has had a nightmare start. He's dropped 5 places. He's just gained 1 back there. Andy Shields also gaining ground in the middle of the pack as he goes past Maciej Sakovic. Maciej doesn't want that though, because the black and orange car just going out of his shot there was James Neve in the work guard by result machine. He's head of the AM class and he's head of the AM championship as well, and Maciej wants to go after him and close that gap down. But at the front, Alex Davidson leads. Great job off the start. Matthew Crisp did a belter as well and did get past Karekis nice and cleanly. But for the first time in this race, we're about to get into the main slipstreaming section as they come out of turn 7 and 8. This is turn 7, the right-hander, and then turn 8, the left-hander. Now let's look back for Alex Davidson and see what the slipstream's like here, because it's very minimal usually in these cars. But because of how long and colossal this straight is, the effect might be slightly amplified to say the least. As you can see, Crispy is closing in. It's not by a massive amount. He's only gained about 1/10 and a half at the moment. Now it's really affecting it. Just as they get down the hill, it seems to really suck the other car along, as Sakovic is actually under pressure from Marcus Adams going into the chicane there. Marcus trying to get through into turns 10A and 10B at that chicane. Doesn't work this time round though, but now he's tucked right up behind the Team Mad machine. And as they cross the line for the first time, James Neve having a bit of an issue with his timing by the look of it. We'll call it a transponder issue. He's blinking in and out quite a lot. Adams down the inside of Sakovic, nearly contact between the two. Sakovic just leaves enough room, slots in behind him, and now look, because behind them even Carl Hardy wants a piece of this as well. All these 3 teams are different and they all have very bright yellow colour schemes on them and day-glow fluorescent sort of neon green. Even behind Carl Hardy now is Ian Manners. He wants a piece of this. See the way that they all attack turn 5 differently. But over the crest of the hill towards turn 6 and 7 once again. Looks nice and tasty. They said it with the wrong accent then. Karekis has got ahead of Crispy again, actually. Karekis has got the job done here for P2. Now where has he got that done? Oh, he's got it done down the start-finish straight actually on the way into turn 1. Christoph Karekis, the Hungarian, he's been very exciting to watch this season. And he's a very determined racer, and he's just getting better and better round after round. Great stuff. Now here comes this battle again. Look in the background there, 3 wide. Andy Shields on the left. I don't know if he's had a slowdown penalty or something, or just lost a bit of ground in general, but through on the right goes Marcus Adams into the lead of the AM class. He's overtaken James Neve, and he's ahead of Maciej Sakovic. Diamond formation into the chicane. Red arrows would be proud of that. Around the outside goes Sakovic. He's now got James Neve on his outside. Sakovic bounces over the curb. Neve goes through, and Andy Shield is still losing ground here. What has gone on for Mr. Shield? Interesting. Seems to be back up to speed now, but not quite sure what that was, Randy. He had a great start. It's a real shame for him to lose that ground. Here is Alex Davidson, your race leader. He's not able to break away here. Christoph Karekis is flying. Michael Evdoka has also got past Matthew Crisp as well, so that's important for Pure Sims Esports in the Teams Championship. That means they're ahead of Crispy now and his teammate Michael Haflidas. They may be in different liveries, but they both race for AM Racing Team. As they go over turn 5, Crispy's got a hell of a run on Evdoka. Look at that. Evdoka runs way over to the left-hand side. I think, to be fair, he might have even had a slowdown and served it nice and cleanly as more positions changing further down here. Matty Wild side by side with Andy Shield. Mr. Shield's had a very lively race at the moment, hasn't he? Hello again to everybody in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday evening. Half the time I don't know what day it is at the moment. I hope you're enjoying it. And it's good to have you along here on Chaz Drake Up Media for the World GR86 series. We've had a hell of a championship here. A hell of a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Dale Bennison's just had a bit of a drama at the back of the field. We'll have a look at that in just a moment, because now Christoph Karekis, the Hungarian, is trying to get by Alex Davidson for the race lead here in round 13 of the championship. Out the chicane they go, looking phenomenal as ever as they make their way over the crest of the hill. The guys behind are going to hope that they can stick with them. Alex Jenkins has just had a bit of a slow final sector on this lap, and he's just lost a bit of ground to Haflidas just ahead. Pete Newman also losing ground. Marcus Adams, though, leading the AM class at the moment. Weenus Semantics will be very happy with that, but James Neve wants to change that. He's all over the back of him all of a sudden into turn 1. Marcus started 12th on the grid. He's now up to 8th place, and in doing so has overtaken Andy Shield as well on his way there in the Pro class. It's looking good at the moment for Marcus. Let's just have a look at what happens in Dale Bennison. In the result clothing car, going through turn 6 into turn 7. Is he just going to catch the curb and loop it? It's almost like I've seen it before. Oh, he does hit the wall quite hard there actually with the front left. But he does manage to get it sorted again and crack on. Andy Shield has just gone past Carl Hardy for 11th place. He now moves up a spot, but is still bottom of the pro drivers at the moment, unfortunately. Further up, battle is raging here between Matthew Crisp and Michael Evdoka. Michael's just pushing him down the back straight, and he's going to dive out to the left, I imagine, just before the chicane. And try and get it done under brakes. They're all just pushing one another down the hill. Michael brakes a little bit early just to play it safe, and no, he's not going for the move yet. I think he knows that really they need to work together in moving forward to make sure that they can catch those leaders. Another lap in the books then. And still, they need to sort of close that gap a little bit more. Because right now, the top two are looking very, very feisty, I should say, but not fighting enough to slow each other down. In the AM class, Sakovic has got a bit of a gap ahead of him, but he's overtaken James Neve, importantly, for 2nd place, so he's going to at least claw a couple of points back on his main title rival. Oh dearie me, James Neve's off. James Neve has a big old moment. I thought he disappeared behind the timing tower for just a bit there. Let's have a look at this then. We'll go on board with Andy Shield, who was following him. You'll see he just steps 1 foot wrong on the right-hand side. And it's so easy to do that. Just loses the back end slightly on the brakes. And Andy goes down the inside for a freebie that he will be very, very grateful for. Just behind as well, we've got Matty Wild and Ian Manners together. The DCW Racing and 52 Racing machines glued to each other at this moment in time. And right now, Ian's going to get a good old run down here. In the slipstream he goes. Is he going to move out to the left-hand side and try it on the brakes? I'm not sure. Feels like he's a little bit far back. He's smoother and lighter on the brakes on the way in, but doesn't make it work this time. Okay, so the top 4 are now glued together. Then there's about 7/10 of a second back to Michael Haflidas, so he's not able to stay just as in touch with these guys at this moment. Back down the hill once again. It's a lovely sight, isn't it, watching them come down there. bouncing their way over the curbs, this way then the other. Alex Davidson, though, continues to lead this race, and Karekis continues to follow him. Crisp continues to follow him, and Evdoka continues to follow him. It's very orderly at this moment in time. Medmo in the chat saying it's so punishing getting it slightly wrong through that downhill section, and you're absolutely right. Because it is downhill, the car just wants to wash out wide and not behave at all. It's a real painful place to get it wrong. Dale Bennison has unfortunately, I think, just ended his race early because the wheels are pointed to the right on that thing, and it is not going right at all. And yeah, that is the end of Dale Bennison's race. And this is actually what happened to Michael Hafliderson just a moment ago. So he was already about 7 tenths down, and he's dropped a lot more actually. Alex Jenkins has gone past him. Wow, that's a big old moment that is for Hafley. Manages to get it back together though, but he's lost time, like I say, to Alex Jenkins. This is Dale Bennison's off over the curb. It's exactly the same as what he had at turn 7, but that's a big old hit into the barrier, that, and that is definitely race-ending damage, unfortunately, for Dale. And I'm afraid in that case the barrier didn't quite do it for Dale, did it? So Alex Davidson, interesting driver to watch, because when he needs to be, he's just so fast out front, and he can just completely decimate the field. At a circuit like this, when you've got slipstream involved, obviously that's not as easy to do. He's not been able to open that gap up to Christoph Karekis in this race. But the thing is with Alex is he's one of these great drivers that will go through a reverse grid race from further down in the order and make it work so easily. He'll make it look really effortless, will Alex. And keep your eyes out for him in the second and third races, of course, which will be coming up in a little bit. We have 3 races tonight, in case you didn't already know. And then we have our reverse grid wheel, which determines the grids for race 2 and 3. Behind them, there's a move going on, actually, because Hafliderson, Newman and Jenkins are all playing. They've decided that the lead quartet is not worth working together for, so they're just going to have a fight now and see who can do what. Pete Newman getting in front. And he'll be pleased with that one too. Have outdone Michael, because he knows Michael's a tough nut to crack. And Alex Jenkins is on his way into the pits here. That's an odd sight to see, actually, at this stage of the race. I'm not sure if he's got a drive-through penalty or something, but no, it looks like he's heading over to the box on the right. So hopefully everything is okay for Alex Jenkins, but his appearance in the pit lane leads me to believe it's not. It looks like he's got a bit of damage, actually. He may have even had what they call a meatball flag. So in motorsport, if you don't know, you get a black and orange flag. A black flag with a big orange dot in the middle of it. They call it the meatball. And it means that your car has received damage of a certain kind, or damage to an extent where it could affect other races on track, or it could affect the safety of the race, for example. And Alex's car seemingly already had it at this point. I'm not quite sure what has gone on to cause this. He didn't have contact with Hafliderson at this point. Was he already carrying the damage here? Doesn't look like it. But you can see there's a big old gap behind him, actually, to Newman and Hafliderson at this point. So what on earth has caused this? Because it doesn't say that he's been off the road or had a spin or any major issue. And I hate to say it, but Marcus Adams has now lost the AM lead. Let's say that, though, actually. He's just gone back into it. He's just gone back down the inside of Magic Sakovic and got the move done again. So the battle continues on here for the AM lead. And it did look slightly crabby, didn't it? It was a little bit sideways. As oh no, Hafley's off again. Michael's got a habit of throwing the car off the road there, bad luck of it, unfortunately. He's back on now though, but he's behind Pete Newman, who has only gained 2 places in this race, but he's been pushing on hard because he's had a lot of sort of lone time on the circuit, to say the least. I don't know what happened to my voice there. This is Alex Jenkins making his way back through the order. He's just trying to go past Roger Morton in car 92. Goes down the inside at turn 3. Roger corrects a little bit around the outside as Christoph Karekis has gone into the race lead. Karekis now ahead of the previous race leader, Alex Davidson, and that actually happened while we were looking at the replay before, so sorry. Like I said earlier, please do. I can't even think of the word. I'm really not well this evening, unfortunately, so my head may not be quite as sharp as usual. So we're pushing on. We're trying. I'm trying. But right now, Michael Avdoka is trying to not lose this train. He's actually about half a second off, which doesn't sound like much at all, to be honest. It's actually 0.4 of a second from Matthew Crisp, but still, considering the other guys are all spread by 0.3 of a second, it's not a lot at all. The grass is going to be a lot shorter at turn 1, says Medmo. You're absolutely right, and Kevin's just saying no food for him tonight as well. That's the thing with the AM Racing Team boys and the Alcantech guys, they pay each other in food. So we're nearly 15 minutes of the way through this first 20-minute race. Still has Craig Vrolick in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Saying that he prefers Mid-Ohio or Road America to Road Atlanta. Interesting. I was just talking to a friend of mine before, actually, about the Miami Road Course and how entertaining that is as a racing circuit. That's one that often gets overlooked. Same with Texas as well. Texas has got a great road course. There's a couple of them, really, that certainly get looked. Road America can get nuked, says Danny Solo. I'm going to ban you from my YouTube channel because I love Road America. We've got a special event coming up, let's not forget. Oh, could you hear me get excited suddenly then? The Sim Racing Magazine GT4 Challenge will have its 3rd season starting at the end of May. But before that, and a week before that, we have the Road America 400 kilometres. Keep your eye out on everything related to Chaz Draycott Media on when the entries for that open. It's GT4 cars at Road America for 62 laps. It's going to be a fantastic race. It's going to be a lot of fun. Matthew Crisp is now not having a lot of fun, trying to hold off Michael Avdoka, and the two of them, look how suddenly they're going to lose the pair ahead. Michael really didn't need to make that move there, and unfortunately he sort of held them both back because they've had to compromise their line through the chicane, over the crest, and then down round the final corner. Look at that, almost like a mirror. The two Pure Sims cars both fade out from behind the other just into the braking zone. Kevin asking me to actually ban Solo from the chat. I will not do that, my friend. Danny's been a great contributor to the YouTube chat over the last couple of rounds and broadcasts, and I always welcome that. Medmo saying Belle Isle can get in the sea. For certain cars I agree, but I think it's a very exciting circuit all the same. And Silas Craig Vrolick saying, hey Chaz, Formula 1 is around the corner so I can come out of hibernation. Yes, Silas, I'm very excited to see how you get on, my friend. For anyone that hasn't seen the Chaz Draycott Media Formula 1 World Championship, make sure you do go back and watch it. It is on my channel still. We had a fantastic season last season. It was so much fun. It's basically Pro Mazdas on iRacing painted to look like late 1990s Formula 1 cars. And Silas was racing in the West McLaren Mercedes. And he did a really, really good job of it as well. A few spins, but that's Silas. We love you, Silas. Christoph then. Well, he might not be loving Alex Davidson too much right now because he's just taking the vinyl and the paint and all sorts off the back end of his gorgeous orange, white and green GR86. I actually saw a GR86 on the weekend. I was at Alton Park just yesterday, in fact, and managed to catch one in the flesh. It's a gorgeous looking car. Maybe not as gorgeous as the race cars because I think these little things look fantastic. I love the rear wing on them. It's a proper serious rear wing on these cars. James Neve was blinking in and out a bit again, and it is showing that he's now out of the race, so I think he's actually disconnected, just as, yeah, Medmo saying that. I just had to, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I think James's race has just come to a very abrupt end because he hopped up and down the timing screen. You might see him, he might be that car in front there that's about to blink in and out and disappear, unless he's already gone at this point. Yep, there you go. I think that was the moment that he disconnected, and then all of a sudden he's just not come back. And I'm afraid James Neve, with that, will lose the lead of the AM Championship. Oh, Medmo was at Alton as well yesterday. Yeah, it was. I've only just dried out as well. It really chilled me to my bones yesterday. I think it's partly, contributed to why I'm so ill today. I mean, I was ill travelling down to Brands Hatch on Friday. I got back from Brands Hatch at nearly 2 in the morning on Sunday night, and then I was at Alton Park for nearly 7 a.m. on Monday. Actually, no, 8 a.m. on Monday. And I'm feeling it now, but yeah, unfortunately, it's just my conditions got worse and worse over the weekend. I don't know what it is. So, this top 4 still stuck together now. We've got 2 minutes left of this race. It's about 1 minute and 34 seconds a lap. That means we're going to get 2 more laps here at Road Atlanta in the first race of the night in the WSR World GR86 Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker, and of course, with the support of Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography. Broadcast here on Chaz Draycott Media with yours truly, Chaz Draycott, on broadcasting and commentary duties solo. Up over the hill they go again, and look at the way these cars move around. Like I've said a couple of times so far this season, I love that these cars move around so much because they show you their body language, they show you how they're behaving. It's like a Porsche Cup car. They're not completely flat and stiff and lifeless cars, these things. They do really bump around. And you can see that Alex Davidson is just providing a shadow for Christoph Karekis at the moment. And they are so close to contact the whole time, but it still looks very, very tasty, doesn't it? Down the back straight they go once more. And now Alex Davidson moves out to the left-hand side. I'm pretty sure he'll... Actually, no, he'll only have... Wait, what? How was one lap? Oh, yeah. I can't count, can I? Oh, I'm so sorry. 3 wide into the final chicane once more. Crispy down the inside. Davidson down the inside. Oh, no, Crispy. Bounces off the side of Christoph Karekis. And unfortunately, Crispy overdoes it. The checkered flag is going to wave, and it's going to be Alex Davidson who gets the job done at the final corner. Karekis tries him to the line. Boy, oh boy, that was close. 41 thousandths of a second. Evdoka third, Newman fourth. Crisp is going to finish in 5th. And here is the final moment then in the AM class. This is going to be Maciej Sakovic round the final corner. Finally gets the job done. He's going to take a very convincing lead in the AM Championship due to that. Very, very well done indeed. And in the rest of the class, looking a bit further down, Carl Hardy gets 2nd place. Great drive by Carl there. Marcus Adams finishing in 3rd in his class, but it's Alex Davidson that takes the win. And for the first time this evening, we need to nip over very quickly to our reverse grid spinny wheel. And we will spin said wheel and see what the reverse grid is going to be for the second race of the evening. It's going to be, I think, 22. It's going to just tick on over to. I need to let the series admins know about that just now. So if you bear with me a second, we'll let them know that it's reverse grid 22, and that means that we are going to get a full reverse grid, basically. That is the biggest that we can get, I think. No, 23 and 24, the biggest 2 values on there. So it goes anywhere up from 10 to 24. So it's looking good, really, for a lively one. Oh, look, there's the broadcast, because I've forgotten to change the scene back. It'd be great if I was good at this, wouldn't it? Anyway, what we're going to do, everybody, is just take a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media. We're going to go back to some adverts, but before that, I should really show you the results of the race, shouldn't I? There is your race winner, Alex Davidson, then winning by 69 thousandths of a second after the slight correction by the sim over Christoph Karekis. Michael Evdoka in 3rd makes it 2 Pure Sims eSports cars on the podium once again. Pete Newman finishes in 4th, good recovery from Pete. Matthew Crisp, unfortunately, finishes in 5th ahead of his teammate Michael Hafliderson. They'll both be looking for more in the 2nd and 3rd races. Andy Shield finishes in 7th, so 007 is P7. Maciej Sakovic wins the AM class in car 8, P8. Carl Hardy, car 173. Luckily, he's not in 173rd place. He's in 9th, finishing in 2nd in the AM class. Marcus Adams next up, rounds out your 10, and finishes the final car on the AM podium. Behind him, we had Mikel Lees in 11th spot, followed by Ian Manners in 12th, Matty Wilde in 13th, Alex Jenkins finishing in 14th spot, and then he had Colin Sansom behind him with Roger Morton and Martin Kenyon providing the rest of the company. Dale Bennison was 1 lap down after his big accident, and James Neve, unfortunately, disconnecting before the race was complete. So now it's time for us to finally go to an ad break here on Chaz Draycott Media. We'll be back at Road Atlanta in just a couple of minutes' time, and we'll bring you the second race of the night, round 14 of the season. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with you.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across, they're both in front of Milan and
But
Pouget.
before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, you can look and the drift is go out. All the way from back there. Go on ball with Ben Gregory now. I love it. 10.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
time, 'cause I wanna freeze this moment, make it mine, hold you close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Close. Now my heart's wide open. When I'm with you, suddenly I feel no pain. Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it? Do you make it go away? Do you make it go away?
Hello again everybody, Chaz Draycott here for the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series. We're back on, ready for the next round of the championship, which is going to be round 14 from Road Atlanta. Beautiful, beautiful place to be, very challenging circuit, and after the first race that saw two of the Pure Sims esports cars on the podium once again, we know that it's going to be just a matter of time to see how long they get towards the front again with the reverse grid, which is the full reverse for this race. So all 19 cars have been reversed around. So the car that finished the race in 19th place is now going to start on pole position, and then vice versa. So we're going to have our original race winner, Alex Davidson, starting right at the back of the pack. Christoph Karekis, definitely one to watch in this as well. He was really, really good in that first race, finishing second position, really held his own. Matthew Crisp, unfortunately, going for a dive down the inside into the final chicane. Didn't quite get it right, bounced off the side of Christoph's machine, and it was not plain sailing from there. I think Matthew Crisp eventually finished in 5th position. Magic Sakovic took another win in the AM class, and that's all important as well, especially as James Neve, his main title rival, was not finishing that race. He disconnected partway through. I'm glad to tell you though that he's actually back in this race now, is James, so hopefully whatever connection issues he has have been rectified. I know from first-hand experience it's not something that can just get fixed straight away though, so we'll keep our fingers crossed for him. But it's the man that's fastest in this warm-up session at the moment, Alex Davidson, that won that first race, and he's going to be looking for more in terms of his championship standings. That's his teammate Michael Evdoka with him on the circuit there. Michael could do with a few more wins this season. He's up amongst it though in the standings, of course, so it's just a case of which of these two will be leading the championship going further ahead. Next time out we are at Sonoma. It's going to be an amazing, amazing round, that is. Really looking forward to seeing that. I think we're going to have a lot of fun there at Sonoma because it's a circuit that not everybody knows. It's a very difficult circuit to race around as well. It's a big old challenge, and I think there's going to be a few people caught out by the narrow, twisty confines of Sonoma. Looking a little bit later into the calendar, a few weeks from now we'll be heading away from Sonoma to Sandown. We're going to be going to the international circuit at Sandown. That's going to be a lot of fun. Then we go to Manicourt on the 2nd of May. Following that, Motegi East. We're going to go to Japan for a quick flurry over there before the final round of the season on the 16th of May. We're going to head back to Daytona and finish at the wonderful Daytona Road Course. A very busy round that is going to be for sure. So the cars will all disappear on the spot. And now it's going to be time for the second race of the night Here is your grid then. Well, there's the wrong grid. Apologies. I clicked the button too early and it does that, you see. That's what happens. James Neve is going to start on pole position. Dale Bennison's going to be alongside him with Martin Kenyon and Roger Morton on row 2. Then we have Colin Sansom and Alex Jenkins, the highest placed pro driver, the only pro driver on that screen. Marty Wilde 7th alongside Ian Manners in 8th, Mikael Lees 9th, and then Marcus Adams in 10th. They're followed by Carl Hardy and then Maciej Sakovic starting down in 12th. Then we have the rest of the pro field. Andy Shiel, Michael Hafliderson on row 7, Matthew Crisp and Pete Newman on row 8, then Michael Avdoka and Christoph Karekis with Alex Davidson starting at the back of the pack. This is going to be a very, very exciting race for sure, because you can see the Pure Sims cars just in the background there, ready to make their progress through the field. So it's just time to get going now then. And round 14 of the World GR86 Series from Road Atlanta gets underway. And it looks like a good start from Martin Kenyon on the second row of the grid. Dale Bennison doesn't get away very well. His teammate Roger Morton gets a better launch. Martin having a bit of a blink in and out there. Alex Jenkins going well, of course. He's the highest placed pro in the field. He's got the Result clothing cars. Maybe a bit too much of a tight fit there, either side of him. He's gained 2 places already. And now he's got only a couple of cars in front of him. Hafliderson's gained 2 places, getting past one of the AM-class cars, which is Maciej Sakovic. He's got Matthew Crisp in there as well, 3 wide with Andy Shiel. Maciej's on the outside. There's not enough room for that, surely, boys. There's not enough room for that. Andy's got to try and not squeeze the guys behind him. There's a bit of a check-up. Crispy slams on the brakes, nearly gets hit by Avdoka. He's got Newman next to him. And then you've got Alex Davidson and Christoph Karekis next to that as well. Nearly contact between them through there. I have no idea how they all made that work through there. Great racing. Absolutely great racing. But it's James Neve that leads the way. Kenyon, Morton and Jenkins are still glued together behind. Looks like Kenyon's having his own internet woes at the moment, though. And I know that Neve feels that pain all too much. It's a little bit gloomy here now at Road Atlanta. It's certainly not as sunny as it was in that first race, but look at these lot now, all in one big train. Matty Wilde there in the yellow and blue gradient of the DCW racing machine. He's got Carl Hardy right on his back in the Safeguard by Result machine. Then you've got Andy Shiel just back there in the matte black car, the WSR car. Let's see what they can do down into the chicane. We'll stay with this chopper cam because anybody that flies into shot now is certainly going to come in barreling in from the bottom. I think Andy Shiel's going to go a little bit later than Manners on the brakes. He's gone way too late. There's cars around in front. Colin Sansom's involved in that. Everyone's trying to move out of the way and avoid them. Oh, and off the road has gone Matty Wilde. Sansom and Lees are involved in it. And the whole pack is now one big bunch as they go over the hill. Look at this. Let's try and figure this one out, shall we? I like that chopper cam. Let's go back to that. Maciej Sakovic a little bit further in this pack. But look at that. Noah's Ark 2x2. It's like a rolling start on lap 2 here at Road Atlanta. 10 cars involved. 5 rows of 2. How are they going to make this work? Pete Newman's gone down the inside of Michael Avdoka. No, sorry, it's Alex Davidson. Then Avdoka in the middle. Carl Hardy gets on the brakes. Oh, someone's got a slowdown penalty. It's that Dale Bennison with a slowdown. He's had to slam on the brakes. Karekis has gone down the inside. There's contact. Oh, no, the 2 Pure Sims cars are off. Dale Bennison's off anyway. The 2 Pure Sims cars were sort of going with him there, but managed to get away with it. And further up the field, Martin Kenyon and Alex Jenkins are having a battle. Wow, this is busy. Busy. Let's have a look at what happened then at the front of the pack on that previous lap. Let's just keep our eye on Jenkins going around the outside of Martin Kenyon here. Can he get this move done? Sun's coming back out again at Road Atlanta now that the rain has gone. We can see clearly. So this is what happened then. Mikael Lees in the black and orange car, in the middle of this trio. Colin Sansom and Roger Morton just in front. Oh, I don't know if Lees hit the back of Colin. And, oh, he's hit him again. I'm not sure if he hit the car in front there. Might have been a little bit of netcode involved. Let's have a look. Oh no, he did hit him. Hit him very hard indeed. And then he tries to stop to sort of let him go and then gives him another kiss. This is the battle in the mid-pack still kicking off. Making their way around the final corner now. Martin Kenyon still holding on to second place ahead of Jenkins, but look at this, Michael Hafliderson in 4th place, gained 10 spots from where he started. Kenyon and Jenkins still having their battle in front, and Martin is blinking in and out a lot right now. He's having big problems with that connection. So Doka and Davidson really, well, they need to try and find a better way through the pack, don't they? Because with that incident with Dale Bennison, you can see Dale's got, I think he's got a slowdown penalty, but he's braking in front of Avdoka there. He needs to just try and lift off instead, and then they go 3 wide. It's on the outside. Oh, I don't think any of them did anything wrong really there, to be honest with you. They just ended up 3 wide, and The contact was almost inevitable. So James Neve leads this race. He had a nightmare first race, disconnected, and obviously didn't get a result out of it. Get it? Result? No. But now he's leading this race ahead of Alex Jenkins, and then Michael Hafliderson has now made his way up into third position. Pete Newman and Matthew Crisp are side by side as they go out of turn 7. As whoa, Andy Shield flies over to the right hand side, nearly completely losing the back end of the car there, but manages to save it and let the slipstreaming begin, gentlemen. So Crispy's got a car behind, and a car directly in front as well. Moves to the right of Pete Newman, car number 118. He hasn't got his teammate Esteban here this weekend. Esteban Rodriguez. I wanted to apologise to Esteban because I feel I was a little bit too harsh on him last time out of Montreal for the incidents and contact that he was involved in. There was one bit that was inexcusable, but I did feel like I was a bit too hard on him and have been throughout the season, so I did want to apologise to Esteban for that. As Andy Shield now goes down the inside of Christoph Karekis, and all of this is bringing the cars behind into the picture as well. Magic Sakovic actually side by side there with Alex Davidson at this point in the Team Mad car. The AM class and the Pro class all mixing paint essentially here together, swapping panels with each other. Karekis down the inside of Andy. Andy's giving him the room. He's run a little bit wide of the apex, but slots in front. And look at this, Alex Davidson ahead of Magic Sakovic, Ian Manners and Carl Hardy. Carl Hardy's going to have a great view of this. Look, all these cars in one big snake down the S's. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Right, left, over the curb. Carl gets a really good run. Isn't going to be able to do enough about Ian though to get past him before turn 6, is he? Ian feels the need to go defensive though. Then he goes back onto the racing line. So clearly not that defensive. And then they get it stopped, but in front Avdoka and Karekis are side by side, and Davidson's got a front row seat. He's going to push his teammate now. He's using the slipstream. And the followers of Christ Jesus our Lord are in the chat with the same comment that I've been getting on all of my Tower Sim videos over the last sort of 12 hours. So, yeah, please don't. Down into the chicane they go though, and it's worked for Pure Sims this time round because now Avdoka has got in front. Oh, Davidson get his nose chopped off there quite a bit. He won't be pleased with that. I think Marcus Adams isn't pleased with something either, to be fair. There's been a bit of a moment here as Roger Morton, Kenyon flying down the inside, he's overdone it. And then, yeah, he's just not happy with what's happened there as he's lost a bit of ground. He's now got to watch this in front of him because Martin Kenyon, he's blinking in and out a lot. He's all over the place here, is Martin. It might cause a bit more of a problem for the rest of the field, I think. No, he's blinked out and he's pulled over to one side there. I think the warning from other drivers maybe has come as a sudden surprise, because you can't tell when you are blinking. From your end, you can't tell when you're blinking in iRacing. If your connection's not that great, it's hard to pick up on it, to be honest with you. So, everyone continuing on with this Noah's Ark tradition, and yeah, Medmo saying that I did summon the lovers of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Oh no, Marcus Adams has been collected by Karekis. Oh, Adams gets a hit on the exit. What on earth? Will Magic be able to pick up on it? Karekis goes down the inside, finds a gap. And then, yeah, Marcus just isn't all the way over to the left, unfortunately. And I don't think he expected Karekis to be there, but still, he didn't end up all the way over on the left-hand side of the circuit, so there was not enough room for Karekis to put his nose down the inside. There's enough room for Jenkins to put his nose down the inside, though, on James Neve. And he says, thank you very much, son. I will take that through as well. Taking a freebie is Michael Hafliderson, who's just on the fastest lap of the race now. He's on his way to the front of the pack. He won the race at the very start of the season at Silverstone, did Michael. And I don't remember him repeating that feat since. It's been a very busy season with 3 races per meeting, so please do forgive me, Michael and AM Racing Team, if I had forgotten one. But right now, this is the fight for the lead, and these guys have got a good gap over everybody else because they've got half a second back to James Neve and then 9 seconds almost back to Matthew Crisp, who's managed to break away from that train. Then Roger Martin's at the front of it. Then you've got Pete Newman, Andy Shield, Alex Davidson, Michael Avdoka, Christoph Karekis, Magic Sakovic, Ian Manners, a little bit of a gap to Martin Kenyon, and then Carl Hardy at the back of this train. And that takes you all the way down from 5th place down to 14th position. Fantastic. This is your race leader, Alex Jenkins, doing everything by the book so far. Started 6th on this grid. Of course, the highest placed of all of the pro drivers. And he's now pushing on to, well, try and make some sort of defence over Havliderson, but he's not blocking him here. He's on the inside line, and if Hafley wants to use this, he's letting him in front, actually. I think that's tactical, you know, from Alex Jenkins. I think he knows the game here. He knows the game. Havliderson's the biggest mover in the field, gaining 13 places, started 14th on the grid. You really don't need me to do the maths for you. But right now, Havliderson leads this race, and to be fair, Jenkins has let him in front so he can use the slipstream for the rest of the race, I'm sure. Jenkins 2nd, Neve 3rd. Crispy still in 4th, and then Roger Morton still holding off this lot, and I say that as Alex Davidson goes through down the inside. Andy Shield can sense an opportunity as well. He wants a freebie out of this. Moves over to the right hand side. There's a bit of a check up. Evdoka through the middle. Contact with Shield. Karekis down the inside as well. That's not going to work, gents. It's not going to work. Karekis runs a little bit deep. There's contact between Evdoka and Shield. The two of them right together. In the background, Pete Newman's got Ian Manners for company, actually. Ian trying to sneak it down the inside. The AM-class driver goes through past the pro driver. Just slots in front. You can see Martin Kenyon still blinking in and out quite a lot there. But Mr. Shield is in the group here. And once again, Andy is amongst it. He always seems to be right amongst these battles as the season goes on. We're just over the halfway point of this race. It seems like this battle is never ending, doesn't it? Out of turn 7 they go. This left is counted as turn 8. And now Shield is going to get a push look from Evdoka. Michael pushes him down the back straight towards the long sweeping turn right, which is turn 9. That's going to then have us down to turns 10A and B. Now Evdoka's pushed Andy Shield past the car of Roger Morton. He's going to say, look, I need to get a move done on you now. I've done you a favour. Now I'm going to go. He's going to try and go around the outside, then the inside. Doesn't work for him, but it's worked for Karekis on Roger Morton. Roger, drops to 3rd in the AM class, though. He's lost a place to Sakovic. Sakovic now makes it up to 2nd in the AM class. That's a bit of damage limitation on what James Neve's going to do in the AM Championship for this race. Round the outside goes Pete Newman. Kevin Zemstra saying Hafley for the win, and Danny Solo saying spin. And they still reckon that their countrymen will have a moment. Up through turn 5. Jenkins looking good though, because let's not forget the slipstream is very strong here. As Martin Kenyon has been off the road again, I'm afraid. He's had a big old moment there and comes back on before turn 3. Still blinking in and out. Big moment there for Evdoka. Wow, Evdoka runs really wide through turn 5 and Karekis isn't going to let him get away with that. Karekis is going to push, try and get around the outside into turn 6, and he's done it. Great stuff by the Hungarian. That's his 11th place gained in this race. Evdoka's gained 9, so he's not exactly having a bad run at all. Matty Wild's off the circuit. Wild is off in a big way. Keeps out the wall. Good job. Gets it back on again. You can see how easily the front wheels come up off the ground out of this car. It's like one of those stadium show trucks that they race over in Australia. Here is Havliderson then leading the way. Car 1-3. Sorry, 1-3? No. I thought it was 137 for a minute. Car 81. It's 137 is Dale Benison for Result Clothing. But Jenkins all over the back of him. I don't think Jenkins is going to make a move though. Let's go on board. You can hear he's not flat. He's absolutely not flat out at all. Listen to that. He's really lifting. He's just sitting behind Havliderson now, and he will do to the very end of the race. He's going to make sure he gets good slipstream out of turn 8. And that's going to be it. There's no guarantee he'll get the move done though. Seen it many times before here at Road Atlanta where cars will wait for the car in front of them and then just get the slipstream on the final lap but not have the pace to make it work. Lovely look at the spec maps here on iRacing with these cars where you can make them matte and glossy and metallic and all sorts. Andy Shield's car very matte, but you can still see the gloss of the rear light housing, the brake light housing. Oh, there's been a big oh goodness me, big accident further back. Roger Morton's car absolutely destroyed and into the barrier. Martin Kenyon I think might have been involved in that actually. Let's have a look. So this is Roger Morton and Ian Manners going into turn 3. Roger's over the curb. Oh, he's got into the back of Ian. They've both hit the barriers and it's flung the front bumper off, which magically reappears. And then I really hope... Oh no. It was a very poor rejoin by Roger, I'm afraid, and regardless of Martin's internet issues or not, that was always going to cause a problem for any car that was coming back round the corner. So hopefully Roger learns from that one, because that was a poor rejoin. Shields just had a poor exit out of the chicane. He has a bit of a wobble on the exit, clips the grass wide on the curb, and now Sakovic is going to come down the inside as well. Magic Sakovic, the Polish driver, makes his way up into 8th position. Great job by Magic. He's still second in the AM class. Medmo saying bit of tea-cut and it'll be probably. These GR86s are tough. Ian Manners is in the pits, understandably, with damage after that contact into the barrier before hitting the wall straight on. Really does hurt these cars. A lot of cars on iRacing, it's worse to actually hit the barrier side on, but here, hitting them directly with the front really does hurt them. Yeah, Flyderson's gone directly to the front, hasn't he? He's done a great job in this race. Like I say, 13 places he's gained since the very start of it. And now he's reaping the rewards at the moment, but he's only got 0.4 of a second over Alex Jenkins. Alex is closing in, but it's not by a massive amount, you know, in the slipstream. Going back round turn 9 now, this long right-hander down the hill. Then hardens the brakes into 10A and 10B, and you can hear it even. Alex Jenkins, even from that distance, still lifting off slightly. He's playing the game here, is Alex, and he's doing a good job of it. I don't know where my counting went in the first race, by the way, because I seem to think we had 2 minutes of the race left when I think we only had 1. Or I thought we had 2 laps when we had 1. Colin Sampson's just had an issue, as you see there. He's just rejoining from that one. I think it's going to be another case of just lifting that right-hand side over the curb. No, he might just clip the dust on the exit. Yeah, easy to do that. Very easy to do. And a kiss on the barrier. Like I said, side-on impacts really don't favour cars on iRacing. I mean, no impact would be better, but still, when you hit them side-on, it can really hurt the suspension. We look now at Matthew Crisp and Alex Davidson together. These two 4th and 5th. Crispy's been plugging on in this race. He's really been trying, but Davidson's pace is just relentless. Absolutely relentless. He's really got this car nailed. I'm not sure if he's going to try and pass Matt here. I think he's going to stay with him and just get an easy pass in the slipstream so they don't both lose time going down the straight. Because if he tries to send it in at any of these corners, there's no point, because all he'll do is just hold the pair of them up. So he's going to try and do it in as easy a way as possible. He would have wanted more slipstream than that, but he's had a good run off the corner. Any moment now you're going to see that white and blue bonnet appear on the right hand side of shot, because he's going to have the shorter line through turn 9, which is this right hander here. There he is. And Crispy's going to back out of it. He knows the score as well. He knows that he doesn't want to lose time between the pair of them. So through they go in the chicane, and Alex Davidson now moves up into 4th place. Christoph Karekis and Michael Avdoka are the next duo. Then Andy Shields trying to hold off Magic Sakovic and Pete Newman. God, that's 3 names I've been seeing on my screen for a long time now. All of them stuck together. 2 minutes to go here at Road Atlanta in the second race of the night. As they head down to turn 1, Shield just holds on. You've got to think that Pete Newman will be trying to make something of this one as well. He's going to want to get ahead of these pair and take advantage of the double slipstream he's going to get down the back straight. And as they head back down the S's once more, you can see a little bit of spread between the 3 of them all of a sudden. Look at the amount of curb that you can take through there. It's great, isn't it? Andy Shield flashing his lights ahead to Michael Avdoka. Not quite sure why. Maybe just a bit of banter between the 2 of them. I'm pretty sure they all sit in the same voice chat when they're racing, actually. There's a couple of teams that do. Ian Manners, Martin Kenyon and Matty Wilde are actually all in the same chat. Matthew Crisp and Michael Hefliderson, of course, for AM Racing Team. And I can tell you that, yeah, in the Pure Sims Esports channel, Alex Davidson, Pete Newman, Michael Avdoka and Andy Shield are all in there. Dale Benison, James Neve, Carl Hardy and Roger Morton all in the Result Clothing chat as well. It's great that, because the teams have their own individual voice channels within the Discord server. Mark Russell in the Facebook chat, good to see you, mate. Not sure who Jay is, but evening. And constantly flashing the lights now is Michael Hofleiderson. As we go on to the final lap of the race, the sun has gone in. The track will cool rather drastically, I'm sure, but this is the battle we want to watch, because Alex Jenkins, well, he's going to sit all over the back of Michael Hofleiderson. I said sit, S-I-T. And he's just going to wait for that slipstream on the back straight. Oh, that's not going to help him, though. Alex Jenkins out of shape. And I tell you, he's only got a couple of corners to gain any sort of gap back there. But I think Jenkins might have just thrown this away. I said before, didn't I? There's nothing guaranteeing it that he's going to get this job done here with the slipstream. But to be honest, you've got to get the slipstream in the first place. Wow. That was the panic flash indeed. Oh, Jenkins has really overworked this car, hasn't he? You wouldn't have thought it by the fact that he was sat behind Hofleiderson for most of the race, but I think Hafley's clear. I think Michael's clear here, you know. He's got 0.8 of a second between the two. 0.86. I'll let you know how it goes every couple of seconds. It's now down to 8.2. It's not going to be enough. It's only just gone under 0.8 of a second. It's now 0.73. Yeah, it's not going to be enough. Michael Hofleiderson, unless he gets this wrong, is surely going to take race victory here at Road Atlanta, and it's all down to Alex Jenkins trying to play the game. Let's not forget he gave up the lead, hoping to get the slipstream on the last lap, and he's pushed too hard. So everybody put your hands together for Michael Hofleiderson. He's going to take the win at Road Atlanta. Great job by the Swedish driver for AM Racing Team. Wins over Alex Jenkins of Fury Simsport, and he will be feeling a lot of fury after that. James Neve bounces back from a retirement to win the AM Class. Davidson finishes the Pro podium. And look at this lot. Round the final corner they go. Karekis and Evdoka absolutely together. They're side by side across the line. Karekis is going to take it over Evdoka and Shiel. And then Sakovic and Newman behind. Oh, goodness me. It didn't have to end like that, but it did. Oh, lordy lord. That was a big old shunt. That was a big old shunt. Massive accident, that. This is how it all started between these guys as they came back down the back straight. I think Evdoka just gets enough of a run. Evdoka in the white car, Karekis in the orangey red machine, and then Andy Shiel in the black car. Evdoka's on the outside, then he's got the inside, but I think he just takes a tight line to make sure he doesn't make contact. Oh, he has a bit of a wobble actually, and Karekis gets ahead of him. He's going to carry the speed around the outside. I think Evdoka hits the curb, you know, and bounces into him. Oh, Karekis does squeeze him though. And yeah, he just bounces off the curb, runs wide, and then the three of them end up in the wall very, very hard. Shiel even going in the barrier as well. It's a very dramatic end to the race. We need to quickly head over, though, to our reverse grid spinny wheel, courtesy of Wheel of Names. Very easy to set up online for free, these wheels are. And you can even change the colour of the background, so you can green screen it and have it on a lovely image like this. 20 cars will be the reverse grid, and that is going to mean, again, that we have a full reverse field here for this third and final race of the night. Certainly hope you enjoyed that there, everybody, because that was a lot of fun, wasn't it, that second race. We'll go over the race results, though, and we'll see just how they all finish. Michael Hofleiderson takes the race victory, and then Alex Jenkins in second place, with James Neve in third. Fantastic job by James to win the AM Class. Nice and tidy drive. Alex Davidson finishes in fourth, ahead of Matthew Crisp in fifth, and then Christoph Karekis just beating Michael Evdoka to the line there, with Andy Shiel in tow as well. Maciej Sakovic and Pete Newman, the four of them, or five of them I should say, separated by merely 0.3 of a second. Then Carl Hardy was 11th, ahead of Martin Kenyon, Colin Sansom and Ian Manners, with Marcus Adams, the last car, on the lead lap. The cars one lap down or more were Matty Wilde, Dale Benetton, Roger Morton and Mikael Lees. So it's that time again, everybody, where we're just going to take a quick advert break here on Chaz Draycott Media, get everything ready for the final session of the evening, and we'll be back with you very, very soon. Don't go away.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. The three wide again, Guillaume down the inside. Guillaume moves across, they're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy, you know, these are 5-ton machines, 1200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a drift. Let's go out.
All the way from back there. Go on ball with Ben Gregory now. I love this.
18.5 minutes gone. Senna Lanson tries to go for the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I want you to stay. 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 I want you to stay.
Just a couple more minutes here to wait, everybody, here on Chaz Draycott Media for the World GR86 Series sponsored by Buttkicker. We're just getting into the final session now, so just give us a few more minutes and we will be right back with you, and then we'll just catch the last couple of minutes of warm-up and we'll do the last race of the night.
I never thought of any reason, a doubt about us, and now I'm right back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, nothing to know. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy. And you know how to forget all the wrongs and every reason why we've changed. And there's a storm inside my head, it's getting me in trouble, baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before.
Hello again everybody, Chaz Draycott here, back for the final race of the evening in the World Sim Racing World GR86 series. We've had two fantastic races already tonight here from Road Atlanta, and it's great to be back for the last one. And well, I tell you what, something that we didn't actually see at Montreal was a podium that didn't involve both Pure Sims cars, and tonight we've already had that. Davidson and Evdoka were first and third in the first race, but none of them featured on the podium in the second race. Yes, they had incidents and so on aplenty, but it was a very lively one, wasn't it? It was a lot of fun, that race, and hopefully we'll get the same again in this final race of the night. Warm-up is just going on now. It's just about to finish, actually, and Dale Bennison sits there in the pits as all of the result clothing cars push on around the circuit. I think we may have lost one or two drivers before the end of the evening, unfortunately. I'm just having a quick look now, actually, to see if there's anybody. No, can't see anybody that said that they're not going to do the last races. Ooh, Carl Hardy has a spin. There's a lot of guys that are saying how much fun that finish was as well with the incident that went on. They said it was all absolutely epic, and then they blame Andy for it. It was pretty funny, to be fair. Anyway, let's have a look at the grid then, shall we? Because this is the last grid of the evening. Roger Morton will start on pole position in car 92 alongside Dale Bennison. Matty Wilde and Marcus Adams on row 2. Then it's Ian Manners and Colin Sansom on row 3. Martin Kenyon and Carl Hardy on row 4. Pete Newman and Maciej Sakovic on row 5. Pete Newman, the highest placed pro driver on the grid, ahead of Andy Shiel and Michael Evdoka. Then we have Christoph Karekis and Matthew Crisp, with Alex Davidson and James Neve on row 8. And race 2 winner, Michael Herfliderson, will start in 17th position. It looks like we haven't got Alex Jenkins for this final race of the night then, which is a real shame. He's probably gone to hide in embarrassment for dropping it near the end of that race. Let's get on with it then. Round 15 of the World GR86 series gets underway from Road Atlanta, and it looks like another slow start for Dale Bennison on the right-hand side of the grid in the white, blue and red car. He's lost 2 places already. He's going to lose another one to Ian Manners, I think, by the look of it. As there's a little bit of jostling in the middle of the field, Martin Kenyon has to back out slightly, make sure he doesn't go into the back of the car in front. Everyone keeps it tidy up the hill as they go. Let's go on with Andy Shiel and see what this looks like from the chopper cams. A bit of checking up in front. You've got to be so careful in the early stages here. Looks nice and tidy for the minute. It looks like Alex Davidson trying to find a way down the inside of Andy Shiel, but Roger Morton leads the way. Marcus Adams in second. Definite favourite for winning the AM class in this one is Marcus Adams. He's been very, very quick all season. I believe it's Marcus himself that's involved in some real world racing with Weenus Semantics. I think the entire team of sim races are drivers from the real world. Not the real world. They're not. Can't remember his name now. Tom and Jerry. Is that the right cartoon? No, it's not, is it? Oh God indeed. Matthew Crisp's around. Big contact, and he's been hit just about every angle. And James Neve, the race 2 winner and AM Championship leader coming into this, is going to have to get that repaired. That was a big, big hit and a lot of damage. What on earth happened there? This is way too far back, Chaz. Come on, do your job. So Matthew Crisp chasing down Martin Kenyon. And who's that in front? Trying to figure out which one of the Pure Sims cars that was. Can't see the wing mirror covers from here. He's down the inside. Oh, and he hits the back of the car in front. Gets hit on his right, then on the left, and bang! James Neve finishes the job. Real shame that. As oh goodness me, Colin Sansom. Well, the year 1 cars aren't subtle to begin with, but that was definitely not subtle at all, was it? Colin Sansom off the road. Not sure if he got help there down the hill. He's got the Pure Sims cars around him. He's got Evdoka just going past. Davidson on his inside. Oh, he's just turned across the front of Alex there, I'm afraid. There's no other way of saying that. Just turns across the Pure Sims car. He got going again, though. But it's Roger Morton still leading the race. Marcus Adams, Ian Manners and Matty Wilde, 4 AM drivers for the lead. And then just over the hill behind them there was Pete Newman. Oh no, Evdoka. Evdoka's off and he's in the wall. Sakovic is involved. Maciej Sakovic, potential AM Championship leader after the issues that James Neves had tonight. He could be coming away from this as the leader, and literally in a weird metaphorical way, there is James Neve going past him. So it looks like James's car, despite the front end damage, is still good enough to carry on. Sakovic certainly isn't. Oh goodness me. It's really badly damaged. It's gone around again. Oh, what caused all this then? Well, they're side by side, Sakovic and Evdoka. Sakovic Down the inside of turn 5. Oh, he's out of shape. Oh, he's got out of shape, and Avdoka's got caught in it. And as he's bounced off the barrier, we'll have a look at this again. We'll go on the chopper cam. Just watch the way that the yellow car, Magic Sakovic, bounces off the wall. It bounces backwards and hits the rear quarter panel of Avdoka's machine. He nearly gets away with it, look, and then bang, it takes him out. There's nearly contact further back as Andy Shiel avoids it as well. He nearly takes out Michael Hafliderson. As he turns left to avoid the incident, he nearly hits the rear quarter of him. And oh, goodness me, Magic. Yeah, Magic cuts the chicane, says no chance. No chance am I making that with what's left of this thing. And he's managed to get it this far back now. He may as well take it all the way into the pits. Colin Sanson behind him is thinking, flipping heck, I thought I had a bad lap. What's happened to him? Oh no, Magic. Loses it again, and now Colin Sanson on the grass into the pit lane. Hopefully that doesn't give either of them an unsafe pit entry and a further penalty, because I think it's maybe possible from that point. Now here is the battle further up, because Marcus Adams has been caught and overtaken now by Pete Newman. Pete Newman's made his way through these AM drivers very quickly, actually. He's done it all in just a matter of corners. It's been about 45 seconds. He's taken 3 positions. So Pete Newman on a mission now at the front of the pro field. 2nd overall in the race. The rest of the pros are there just in the background, led by the orange-red Hungarian car of Christoph Kirekis. Going to go down the inside of Ian Manners now. Watching Manners indeed, boys. Goes later on the brakes. Oh, there's a little kiss on the way through there. I think Ian slightly moved over to the left to hopefully squeeze him to the inside, but doesn't quite work like that. And right now we've got an alternation of AM Pro, AM Pro, AM Pro. Well, we did have until Davidson ruined it. Down the inside into 5th place goes Alex Davidson. Flash of the lights there from Michael Hafliderson. Down the inside of Matty Wild. He wants to fight that one hard. Through he goes. He knows that he doesn't want to lose the guys in front. Matty returns the favour. Flashes the lights as well. Andy Shields says, I'll just sneak through in the stealthy Matt Black machine. Thank you. Matt passes Matt. Carl Hardy now wanted a piece of this, and Matt Wild unfortunately getting absolutely freight trained here. He's 4th in the AM class as well now, so he's not even on for a podium with how that's all changed around. This is the lead battle. Roger Morton trying to hold off Pete Newman where he can, but I don't think he's going to fight it too hard. I'm not sure yet, though. We'll see. Davidson round the outside of Marcus Adams. Christoph Kirekis just in front. And then Ian Manners and Michael Hafliderson just behind. Absolutely stuck to each other. Great to see all this battling though throughout the field, as there goes the lead battle again. Pete Newman's on the right hand side now, and that's almost the preferred side really. The shorter line through turn 9, and well, he's already in front before the braking zone, but it would have meant that he was on the outside for this part of the chicane, 10A, then down the inside for 10B. And you often see that move work that way round. 6.5 minutes gone, and a lot of the field is actually quite still closely packed together. You can see on the right hand side of the shot there, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th, unfortunately all lingering further down the order on their own. We've got a good scrap though further up between this lot. Pete Newman now leads the race over Roger Morton, Christoph Kirekis, Alex Davidson and Michael Hafliderson. And Michael's trying to get away from Marcus Adams at this point, just to go chasing down Alex Davidson, championship leader, race 1 winner. He wants to get the better of Kirekis and then go chasing down Morton and Newman for a potential race lead and a definitely potential race win. Davidson now waits for the opportunity. Look at that. Kirekis has put himself on the outside line, but watch, like, he brakes early, tucks the car in. He's going to focus on getting a run, and that is the sort of racecraft you need. And look at it. On the right-hand side of Roger Morton he goes. They're going to go 3 wide, but Davidson's going to have the ideal position here. They just need to respect boundaries. Be careful. Morton moves over to the right, tries to get a bit of slipstream from Alex Davidson, who with that move has almost guaranteed 2nd place behind Pete Newman, but Christoph Kirekis is fighting this hard. He's saying no thank you, and he lets him back in front. Well, I think Alex knows that Christoph's going to fight that harder than he was going to there, and He knows that Christoph's quick enough to just follow on and go after him. There's been a moment for Maciej Sakovic here. I feel there may be a bit of just pulling over to one side here and calling it a night. Unless... Oh, he's got off at turn 1. And he's just kept it out the barrier. My goodness me. Skipping and sliding its way across the grass. Oh, Andy Shields off. Andy Shields doing the same thing. Much further away from the wall, though. Back onto the circuit he goes. Sounded like he would have just been in front of another car there, but there was quite the gap between them. Christoph Karekis now in second, but look, they've absolutely gapped the rest of the drivers behind. Even Hafliderson, who got past Roger Morton, who's just had a moment himself, actually. That's for the AM-Class lead as well. Marcus Adams trying to get in on this. He's got Ian Manners behind him. Martin Kenyon's losing quite a bit of time to Dale Bennison all of a sudden. Dale got through and I think has just compromised Martin's exit as Roger Morton hits the curb, gets a big old wobble. A woggle's one of those little rubber things that you put on your tied neckerchief thing in Cub Scouts, isn't it? That's what we called it anyway. Roger Morton, second place now. In the AM-Class anyway, 6th overall. And it's little mistakes like that that can make all the difference. Marcus Adams goes to the front for the Wiener Semantics machine. And Ian Manners, well, he wants a piece of this as well. Into 10A and 10B they go. Switching this way and that. Roger Morton tries to get the run on the exit. Can he do it? Let's go on board with the Result Clothing car. 10 minutes to go here at Road Atlanta. Flies by very quickly, doesn't it? Fastest lap of the race by Karekis, 1:34.464. And here comes Morton on the left-hand side now with Marcus Adams. He's going to try and get a long way around. Marcus has a little bit of a wiggle on the brakes, though. And now Ian Manners says thanks very much. Through down the inside for a freebie. Just have to take a tight line through turn 3, and Morton's a little bit wide and loses momentum. As there goes Andy Shield. He's now trying to get through down the S's, but obviously that's a very compromising part of the circuit if you're trying to overtake there. Oh, look at that lovely switchback. Oh, he doesn't quite get it done, though. He's managed to do it on the exit, though. And again, I find myself feeling really annoyed that I still hear commentators calling that an undercut. An undercut's the strategy of doing it in the pits, of pitting early and then coming back out ahead of them later on. Or them coming out behind you, I should say. That's an undercut. A cutback is where you make the move on the circuit, and a switchback is also the same thing. But an undercut is a pit lane strategy. I've heard a lot of commentators use it recently, and I don't know why it winds me up, because there's no right or wrong way, but I think there's a general consensus that the undercut is a pit lane strategy. Anyway, this is no pit lane strategy. This is all on-track action now as Pete Newman holds on to the lead just about over Christoph Karekis. But again, look at Alex Davidson. He broke early, left the car out wide, tucked it in, got the run, and he's ahead of Karekis. It's just so good with his racecraft. He knows exactly what to do and when here. There's certain drivers that will just send it at every corner, try and make everything an overtake. But Alex is just so good at sitting back in the moments where he needs to, getting the run out the corner. The run out the corner is always more important than the late dive into it. And Alex knows that, and he uses that to his advantage. Yeah, sorry, Medmo. I got a little bit toxic there. That's my bad. Look behind them, though. Hello. This is Michael Hafliderson, 4th place. Hoping that the battle in front continues and that the slipstream stays very strong from this point back. He's only 6 tenths behind these guys in front now, and they're all having to check up and make sure that they don't go into the back of each other, because Pete Newman's had a massive old slide through turn 5 and Alex Davidson's got in front of him. I'm not sure if Pete would have got a slowdown penalty for that. He's earlier on the brakes, down the inside. That means Karekis is on the outside. But look at this. Michael Hafliderson gains so much on them through there. Around the outside goes Alex. Pete Newman now side by side with Karekis. And Hafliderson is going to join in here, I'm telling you. Sorry, Simon, just for Simon Povey, I tell you what. That's what I should have said there. Just for you, Simon. 4 of them here for the lead, and Alex Davidson finds himself back in front. Davidson and Hafliderson that bookend this group have had a win each tonight. Karekis has been on the podium. Pete Newman has not. Newman down the inside of Karekis, down the inside of Davidson. Karekis goes for the lead. Newman tries to go with him. Has to back out of it slightly. And admittedly, yeah, Madmo, I did nearly call it a woggle again there. Just for the sake of it. Got a battle going on here between Kyle Hardy and Roger Morton. You could see these two getting into a battle a bit earlier. That was a little bit friendly as they went over the crest of the hill. But nothing doing this time round. Whoop. Hafliderson and Newman door to door as they go up the hill. You can see a lot of similarities in these liveries, can't you? Look at the way they hop over that curb there and then slide through the exit. Such a cool car to look at. It's just a shame that that rear wheel glitches into the floor, isn't it? Does take away a little bit of the immersion, it has to be said. Avdoka making his way back through the pack here. He's trying to get past Dale Bennison. Dale on the right-hand side of the shot. Moves out of the way. Just hits the brakes and says thank you. Martin Kenyon goes a little bit deep into turn 3. Avdoka's going to try and go around the outside into the S's, question mark. Love the sheen, the bronze sheen off the back of the Spirit of Yorkshire car in front. Martin does a great job with his liveries and his spec maps. They always look tasty. Very classy liveries. Avdoka can't do anything before that, so he has to wait till the exit of turn 5. Then he's going to try it down the inside of turn 6. There you go. Kenyon gives him plenty of room. And there's been a bit of a shuffle here because the guys battling behind, Newman and Hafliderson, have lost the 2 cars in front. Alex Davidson and Christoph Karekis now breaking clear by about a second over Pete Newman. I think Davidson didn't want to overtake Karekis there because 1, he wants to sit in the slipstream until the end of the race, but 2, if he's just sitting behind Karekis rather than making it too wide, it gives Pete Newman that extra little bit more slipstream because the car in front of him is closer. Fastest lap of the race by Davidson, 1:34.386. And Newman, as you can see from that battling, lost about 6/10 compared to Alex's lap time there. And Hafliderson was even slower than that. I think he did a 1:35.1, 1:35.2 I should say. Love that shot. So they go right over the crest, over the curb. Oh, Karekis goes a little bit deep. Just manages to hold on to the lead though. It was certainly a scary moment for Christoph Karekis there. It can very easily go wrong when you're pushing the limits like that. The rear of the cars remind David Ayres of an Aston Martin. It's an interesting shout. It's, yeah, sort of chunky like the back of an Aston Martin, but I'm not sure the light shape is correct. The lights are a bit of an odd shape for me, I think. Although you're right though, they do... Yeah, yeah. I'm inclined to agree actually, David, because they are a similar shape in terms of the lights on the back. Anyway, we've got 4 1/4 minutes now left of this race to go here at Road Atlanta. The final race of the night in the World Sim Racing World GR86 Series, sponsored by Buttkicker, in partnership with Mr. Hedge iRacing Photography as well. Broadcast here on Chaz Draycott Media with me, Chaz Draycott, or about 85% of Chaz Draycott tonight. Very, very ill. So, apologies for my voice. And apologies for my head not quite being in the game tonight. This is your AM class leader, Marcus Adams. Realise we've not been having that graphic up there at the top for the whole race. He's ahead of Ian Manners, and then Roger Morton still in 3rd place in the background there. This is not done though, because I'd say that Manners is close enough to mount an attack into the final couple of laps here. Manners doing a good job in car 52. Sakovic and Neve have taken a win each tonight, by the way, in the AM class, and they're both still... Actually, no, they're not both still running. James Neve is out of the race, as it says there. And Majek is still running. So is Martin Kenyon. Just avoiding that barrier. Oh, careful, though, as you come back on. But Majek Sakovic is obviously going to get points for this race, for at least finishing it, whereas James Neve is not, and I'm intrigued to see what the AM Championship title race is going to look like after tonight's race meeting. It's certainly been shaken up. So, 2 3/4 minutes to go. We're going to get 2 more laps, I think. Once again, Davidson just not quite making a move on Karekis. He's putting enough pressure on by pushing him, but I think the guys behind are still getting close enough to mount their own attack right now. I don't think Hafliderson's had a go at Pete Newman for a couple of laps because he lost a bit of time in the first place, but then I think he knows that they want to slipstream together to move forward and catch up the car in the lead, or at least the 2 cars in the lead, the pair of them. Into turn 3. You can see how it's blind on the way in, but look at the way that the car changes direction. Maybe a little bit too much for Michael Hofleidesen there. He just clipped the gravel and the dust on the inside of the circuit, and it just dragged the left-hand side of the car in. Up over the crest we go. Carl Hardy's just been off the circuit for a moment, but he's all right. He's come back on. Don't think he's lost too much time, to be fair. He's just dropped a bit to Roger Morton. And Christoph Karekis continues to hold this race lead. I don't expect a move here from Alex Davidson at all. Alex is just going to sit behind now and use the slipstream to his advantage. Bit of a dent and misplaced bonnet on Alex's car. I think he's had a bit of a hit in the early stages of the race. He's just going to give him a push. There it is. And this is just such hard, close racing, isn't it? Look at the lovely matte black spec map on that car there. You can see it's lovely sheen in the sunshine here. We've got just under a minute left to go at Road Atlanta. And the final lap of the race is just about to begin. Christoph Karekis, Alex Davidson, Pete Newman, Michael Hofleidesen. Great battle between these guys. Marcus Adams just ahead of Ian Manners in the AM class as well. Hofleidesen with the fastest lap of the race, 34.316. Really solid time. Maciej Sakovic might be able to pick up a few more points here actually, because he's on the back of Colin Sansom now, and he's still got another lap and a bit to go. As here come the leaders over the hill. There's a long range camera, that. Very good stuff. Karekis ahead of Davidson. You can all expect Davidson to just wait till the back straight to get it done. That's what he did in the earlier race. The move came right at the end. Davidson moves out to the right hand side, just filling the mirrors a little bit more of Christoph Karekis. He could even put him off before they get through the double right-hander. Karekis is going to back this up now, surely. No, Davidson breaks a little bit early, make sure he gets as good a run as he can. At the end of the day, Karekis wouldn't be gaining anything by slowing himself down slightly. And here it goes. Onto the back straight for the final time tonight. And Alex Davidson now starts to get the effects of the slipstream. Pete Newman behind them will also get that. Karekis makes Alex go over to the left-hand side of the circuit and come with him. Alex gently guides the car over to the right. He's going to be on the outside for the first part of the chicane, the inside for the second. Hofleidesen goes for the opposite, so keep your eye on them in the background as well. Karekis keeps Alex to the outside. Alex turns in, gives him enough room. He's going to have the inside for the second part. Hofleidesen's beaten Newman. Newman has a slide and he's off. Hofleidesen's at least going to get third place. Alex Davidson takes the lead from Karekis, and for the second time tonight, it's Pure Sims ahead of Karekis, the Hungarian. Fantastic finish. Great racing. Hofleidesen third. Newman is going to finish fourth. And Andy Scheel is going to finish in fifth place. Just behind him is going to be the battle for the AM class win. Marcus Adams finishing ahead of Ian Manners. Very well done indeed for those two. Podium is going to be completed by Matty Wilde. Well, he had a bit of a wild ride at the start of the night, didn't he? And now it's got much, much better for him in these later stages. Here's a battle for fourth place in the AM class. Carl Hardy and Roger Morton right together. Roger's got the run by the look of it, but no. Suddenly the car just runs out of steam. What on earth? Are they both trying to let each other go? Roger's pushing Carl across the line. Not sure if that's like ultimate... Not sure if that's like ultimate sportsmanship or something. Let's have a look. Oh no. So Carl lost it. Oh, and that was for third in the end. So Carl lost the back end. Roger already had a slide. And then Morton got going again. And then Carl Hardy tried to give it to him and give him the place. Then I think Morton goes steaming up behind. I'm not sure if he hit him there, but he just sort of pushed him along. No, he was just right up behind him, wasn't he? Let's see what happens into the chicane. It's very, very strange this, isn't it? I think Hardy obviously felt bad for the contact. But Roger was already sliding anyway, so I think he knew that. And Carl says, right, your position, mate, you have it. And Roger's like, no, you have it. You can't give these pictures away. Places away. Oh well. Matty Wilde gets third place then in the AM class. What on earth was that all about? What on earth? Right then, let's have a look back at the race results. Flipping heck. I think going for a lie down. Alex Davidson wins the race by just over 1/10 of a second from Christoph Kirekis. Great racing indeed. Michael Heflidison gets a podium and finishes third. Pete Newman was fourth. No podium for him tonight, unfortunately. It just fell away at the end there. Andy Shield finishes in 5th place. Marcus Adams wins the AM class ahead of Ian Manners and Matty Wild. Then we have Michael Avdoka recovering to 9th. Carl Hardy in 10th. Roger Morton finishes 11th ahead of Matthew Crisp, Dale Bennison, Martin Kenyon and Magic Sakovic, who does get some points for that final race ahead of Colin Sansom, with James Neve unfortunately getting no points come his way. Right then, let's have a chat to at least one driver, shall we? Because once I sort my headset out and make sure that I've got the right headset selected, we can actually speak to the man that finished that race in 3rd position after a very lively one. Michael, very well done, mate. You must be over the moon with that, mate, because it was certainly tough to overtake around there tonight. I know the slipstream makes it a bit easy at the end of the lap, but following people in the first sector is very, very difficult, isn't it?
It was. Although I must say this round was my best one so far, and I feel most comfortable in the car and track combo so far, so that obviously helped out. My race 1 wasn't much to talk about. I made a boo-boo of myself twice, but then race 2 I got very lucky, got past a lot of the cars in the beginning, and it was just could use the draft very good, and it wasn't really that difficult to follow cars. I mean, if you were 0.2 behind, you had a bit problem seeing the apex, but otherwise than that, it was fine. The guys out there did a great job today, racing clean in the SS.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say the racing was top level tonight. You know, there was a few mistakes here and there, but it's such a hard track to get right in this car because it really doesn't like a weight transfer too much, does it? Because if you flick it one way then the other very hard, it will spin around, won't it?
It's like driving on a boat on a stormy day. That's the easiest way to explain it.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, obviously, a very tough night here around Road Atlanta, a very difficult circuit, but still we go to an even more difficult one in my eyes. We go to Sonoma next time round, which is, I think it's going to be an interesting one because it's not a circuit that a lot of people have got a lot of experience on, is it?
Funny enough you say that. I race in a NASCAR series and we did Sonoma earlier this season and
nice.
I won it.
Oh, get in.
So hopefully I can repeat myself there, but I mean, like we've seen all season, Davidson is crazy fast and Edvokia is also very fast, and of course my teammate Crispy is super fast as well, so it's going to be hard.
Well, I think it'll be quite exciting to see that then, because obviously you used to drive a hell of a boat round there with the NASCAR League, so it's going to be exciting to see what a car that actually handles will do. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Michael, before I let you go?
Well, obviously AMRT for providing me with my rig and almost whole setup, and of course the guys over at NHR for supporting me and Crispy, and of course my dad also, I know is following me.
Lovely stuff. Well, great to speak to you as always, Michael. Well done on your results, mate, and I'll hopefully speak to you again soon. Have a good night.
Thank you, have a good one.
Cheers. Well, there you go there, Michael Heflidison. Fantastic bloke to speak to, really nice guy, and unfortunately the only interview we have for this evening. There's nobody else lingering in the interview waiting room, but it was a very fun night in the World Sim Racing World GR86 series. Again, apologies if my head wasn't quite in the game tonight. I've really not been well at the moment, so I'm trying to get through that and push on, but I don't want to let these guys down. I want to make sure they still get a broadcast out of it because it was a really, really good race and a great evening of fun. That's all from me, though, here on Chaz Draycott Media tonight. I hope you've all enjoyed yourself, and what a fantastic mix-up of racing we've had tonight. The AM Championship gets mixed up quite a lot, and we get two different race winners, Davidson and Kirekis, both getting a podium each, and then, of course, Heflidison, Jenkins and Neve on the podium in race 2. We will see you in a week's time, everybody, where we will head to Sonoma, but for now, enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Four French drivers at the French Grand Prix trying to win this on the final lap. They're three wide again. Gilles down the inside. Gilles moves across. They're both in front of Milan and Pouget.
Before you know it, we find ourselves here in the very final race of the competition.
And then they see truck racing and they think, this is crazy. You know, these are 5-ton machines, 1,200 horsepower brake. Oh, look at that switchback. Oh, he's been mugged and a terrific show out.
the race lead.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.